World of Tanks has been out now on PC for a few years, and I played it way back then. It was, to be honest, a piece of shit. Well, at least I couldn't get into it. Now on the PC you can get all these mods for it, and over time it's been patched every bit the fuck. Anyways, long story short, my cousin, who's known as Dick in the Dick and Merle series, got me to start playing it with him on the Xbox 360. And yeah, I have a perfectly good PS4 sitting there, and I'm playing on the now obsolete last generation system. Well, I decided, since I got a new HDMI capture card, I'd review the fucking thing, so here's what I think. Graphically on the 360, it's great. I mean, it ain't no PC if you know what I mean, but it's one hell of a nice game. Textures are what you'd expect, and the draw distance is about as far as you can reach out your hand. They're also using this blur effect on things far away, which sort of makes it look decent. You'd think that after drinking a couple of dozen beer and going to a bar, then picking up the missus is a good thing, right? It is, but the next morning when you wake up and look over alongside of you, and you have this girl that looks like, well, it looks like she may have single-handedly kept McDonald's open. I mean, God, it's the ugliest thing you could possibly imagine, but last night, with your blurred, drunken vision, she was something out of a Cinderella movie. Same thing here. Once you play on the PS4 and go back to the 360, you can notice the difference, but while playing it, you really don't give a fuck. So, on the sound side of things, since the new update on the 360, it's really pushed any earwax that you've had in your ears out. Hearing the engine and the tracks moving, it kind of gives you a sense of being there.
What he said. I like the enthusiasm, man.
It's all quiet as you look to spot an enemy tank. Nothing but birds are chirping, and the gentle water brushing on the shore pleases you. Kind of a serenity. Leaves rattling, and there's a nice grassy field in front of you. Bang! An artillery round goes off, hits your engine, killing your gunner and the driver. Their bodies plastered all over the walls of your tank. The engine is ablaze and there's not much you can do but take the controls and get the hell away from where you just were. You can hear the crackling of the fire as it burns what's left of the gunner to your right. It's pretty intense. On the gameplay side of things, it's a bit harder to master. It should also be noted that you need an Xbox Live membership to play, and if you want to get more XP, you'll have to pay for a premium status. You can just still play it with Xbox Live, which is a bonus, but the grind is grueling. Each tank has their own weak spots. You'll need to learn each of them, as shooting blindly at a tank may not reveal anything but a ricochet as the shot bounces off the opposing tank and into a building right next to them, killing an 8-year-old still in bed. Point in fact, aim your bloody shot. You'll have to level up each tank and use XP you gain to buy a higher tier tank, and also it's used to upgrade the one you are using. Once you spend the XP on something, you'll also need to use your silver to buy the tank, or upgrade, which can really get pricey in the later tiers of the game. If you win a battle, you'll gain a nice bit of XP, and silver. But if you lose, you can end up paying out because of the ammo you used, and the cost of repairing your tank. This becomes particularly a big part of the game as you get into the higher tiers. Each class of tank do their own things. I mainly play as a heavy tank, which means I'm slow as fuck but as tough as a steak at a no-name restaurant. Other tanks you'll use will change the way you play the game. An artillery, for example, spends his time hiding in grass and trees, raining hell down from the heavens above on unexpecting tanks. Playing this class means you need a good spotter. If you or someone you know spots a tank, it shows up on your map, and you begin your long loading times and aiming times to fire around. On the other hand, if your team is carved from the shit remains of an elephant and no one is spotting, then you have nothing to shoot at and you're spotted and killed. Now, on the other side of the circle, you have your sniper class, as I call it. Tank destroyers, really. Well, anyways, these guys fuck up heavies like myself, and usually hide in the bushes spotting people from afar. Other mechanics involve load times, aiming times, firing while on the move, and where you shoot. There's a lot that goes into choosing your tank, but I think after playing one class for a while, you'll want to check out if the grass is greener on the other side. Finally, with the new patch comes Cruise, which adds a new mechanic to the stats affecting everything. The thing about this is they are transferable to different tanks, but it's gonna cost you as you would expect from a free-to-play game. Well, it's not really free if you have to play for Xbox Live, but enough with the specifics. Perks these new crew members can bring can be from better spotting distance or faster load times, whatever you choose to add to them, but again, grinding and leveling them up will be tedious as hell. Maps play a role in combat as well. You'll have to learn where the ridges are and where the spawn points of artillery are, because if they get a shot at you, you better goddamn well hope they miss, because they do a lot of damage. And now a few cons of this game. Loading times. By Jesus, I think I'd have time to give birth and raise a child before I get into a game. Now, since the update, there was an issue with the game that required you to delete the game off your hard drive and re-download it. If you never, loading times would be crazy long. But even after you do this, loading times are still a little bit of an issue. Tank control is the other issue I have with the game. It's like sometimes it's hard to move around and you have to do battle with the controls while doing battle with the enemy. All in all, the game is a great game. It's a nice change of pace from all these first-person shooters we've all been playing. And playing. And playing. And playing. If you have an Xbox Live and a 360, give it a try. It's definitely a fun game when you work with a couple of friends to capture the flag or wipe out all the other enemy tanks. Cheers guys, this is DTR. Communicate laters.